Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for July 24th, 2022. So, this week was an interesting week. It's really funny because, again, I don't, I always say it's a weird week, and I've come to realize I do that a lot because it always changes. It's never what I think it's going to be. Like, I think I'm going to get certain things done. I'm going to read these things, and then I have completely let myself be more of a mood reader again. Like I've always been a mood reader, but I meant like I'm really getting to that point where I'm like, yeah, let's keep going with the mood reading and just picking up series and books that I did not expect to. So that's the week. This is the week of unexpected pickups of books and series that I wasn't planning to read this week. Well, not really. Like they were in the back of my head, but they weren't like primary because I don't even remember what I said last week I might read. Not these. Anyway, so today this weekend has been really nice and relaxing. Yesterday I did practically nothing. I got all my grocery shopping done. I'm done some of my chores already and I'll do a few more. I really wish I could get the motivation to do like just a deep clean of my house. Not of like cleaning. Okay. Reorganizing, I guess is what I want to do. I have all this junk that I've put on my guest bed that I need to clean off. And it's just new stuff that I bought for like the bathroom. Some paperwork stuff that I just tossed there. Some other junk. And then I have all these extra books that I bought in the last couple of months that I need to find homes for, which I haven't yet because I haven't done the top of my bookshelves yet. I haven't done that yet. So that's another thing I need to do. I just have all these projects I want to do and then I don't do anything because I am so lazy. I need to find a way to do that. Anyway, so this weekend's been very quiet. And I'm not planning to do a whole lot today, except for I do have to cook a little bit because today is probably the last day that'll be kind of okay to cook because we're just going to get a heat wave this next week. And I am not looking forward to that. So this last week was warm, but or early part of the week was, but not the end of the week was like really nice. And now it's going to be in the hundreds, over 100 this next week. And, you know, as an Oregonian, I don't like it. I mean, I lived in California for 12 years and I dealt with it in Sacramento and I hated it every summer when there would be weeks on end of 100-degree weather. It's just 90s, hundreds. Above that, it was hard. And here when we get it, it hurts even more because it's not normal or not. We get it a couple of times. We get a couple weeks a year, but it's too much. Anyway. So we'll have to deal with the heat this next week, so we'll see how that goes. I did have my drive in the F-250 down to my second job location on Monday, which I went kind of weird, but it was good. And I got to meet up with my parents for lunch, so that was kind of cool. They brought me fish and chips that we ate at an Arco parking lot, Arco gas station. So, but that was fun. I mean, other than that, it was just, that driving the F-250 was not fun. I was so tired that day. So bad. Anyway, so my reading, as I said, has gone in directions I wasn't expecting. There's certain things were planned and things that I wanted to get to, but weird. So here we go. Let's talk about what I've read, what I'm in the middle of, and what I think I'm going to read in the next week. So the first book I finished was somewhere around Thursday. I think I finished Pride and Prejudice and Kittens. Oh, maybe Wednesday I finished. I don't remember what day it was. It was midweek sometime. So it's Pride and Prejudice and Kittens. And this is a cat lovers romp through Jane Austen's classic by Jane Austen, because there are parts of the novel in here. Pamela Jane and Deborah Galloy. Anyway, so this is just a funny retelling of Pride and Prejudice. It has some of the text, but it has memes of cats. And then it talks about them. And it was just ridiculous. So it has, like, the first part of the chapter will be the retelling where it'll talk about the cats, like a cat things okay, so the very first chapter talks about, you know, Netherfield is marked at last instead of Netherfield is let at last. So it just starts changing little things like that and with the cats and stuff. And like it says, what a fine thing it would be for any of our 5 kittens to catch a rich spouse. Like instead of Bennett saying, what a fine thing for our girls. Anyway, so it just has them all. It was just ridiculous and it was cute. And it was just, it's not like anything anybody needs. I got it because I saw it on the library app for some reason. Or my library website when I was clicking on something for Pride and Prejudice. I don't remember what I was looking for. Probably another retelling. And so this was just, it was just fun. I just read a little bit every night, except for the last night. I think I read a little too much because I read like a third of it to get it done. But overall, I really thought it was just cute. It was nothing special, but it was another thing for my Jane Austen July reading. So, in a library book that I did not need. And then I had a doctor's appointment on Wednesday, so I had already read my pages for my buddy read, which I'll explain in a second. But I had time, so I started reading a novella. Well, it was 188 pages, so short novel, novella, anyway, of a series that I read 3 years ago, like 2019. I read this, but I only read the first 4 of 7 books, and so I've been looking at it going, I really want to get back to this series just to finish it out, and then maybe continue in more of this writer's series, because she has a lot of paranormal series I would like to read. So I'm going to finish this one, but I have to reread them. So the first one is book 1 of the Saw Bears series, is Lumberjack Werebear by T.S. Joyce. So again, I read this 3 years ago, and I enjoyed these, and I enjoyed the reread of this one. We're following a group of bear shifters. Again, they're not known in the world, but they're all in a group, and they're working as lumberjacks in this forest that is taken over by beetles, so they have to clear out the lumber, and the wood will be treated and used, but they want to get it cleared so they can reforest the area. So they're working to get through these woods with a couple other groups of bear shifters. I think they're different ones. These ones are called the Ash Bears. So we're following Tegan, who is kind of in charge, that is like the second in charge of the group, and we're following Brooke, who is sent there kind of by accident but on purpose, so that she will try to find her muse, because she's an artist who's had a really rough experience, and it's ruined her artistic talent. She just hasn't been able to paint, and so she gets there, and it's just hijinks, and it's just cute. It's a cute paranormal romance. You know, I really enjoyed the characters, and so I read that day. Oops, I hit the wrong button. And I really did enjoy that. So it was fun to revisit that, because again, it's been long enough that I didn't remember how it went or what happened. So what else is that what I finished next? Hold on. Why do I feel like I missed a book? Hold on. Oh, I did. I'm sorry. I'm having issues today. So, on Friday, I finished my buddy read with Tia and all the books. So we read from Monday through Friday. We read Sapphire Flames by Alona Andrews. This is book 4 in the Hidden Legacy series. This is the first book in the second set of trilogies. I do not start here. There's too much stuff that happens in the first trilogy that you need to know for this one. So definitely start from the first book, Burn for Me, which follows Nevada, and she is caught up. She is caught up in a world. This is a world where magic was discovered or brought to the forefront by a serum in the 1800s. And so there are houses of people who have magical abilities. And in the first book, a Prime, who is one of the top magic users, is on a rampage, and she is sent, kind of in a bad way, sent after to figure out how to stop him before he destroys Houston, Texas. So this is much later. A couple of years have passed from the first trilogy and the novella that comes before this. Definitely read the novella, Diamond Fire, as well. I read it earlier this month with Tia, which was really good. But that kind of gives you more of an introduction to when the Catalina, who is the main character of this trilogy, takes over. And I really enjoyed this book. This was really good. I'm so glad we're reading this series. This is was such a good first book to a trilogy, even though, again, you want to read, this is book 4, so definitely still read them all in order. I guess I just keep saying that because it was so good, but there's so many things in here, and the people that you meet, a lot of them are from the first series, so it's good to read all of that. It was so good. This went in directions I didn't expect. A lot of stuff was revealed that we didn't know about in the first series. So I liked all that stuff. I know there's a lot of stuff more coming because so much is left open-ended because it's the first book of the trilogy. So we will be reading the second book sometime in August, and then the third book will be in September. It comes out at the end of August. So I'm really looking forward to finishing this series up. I'm not sure if they're going to continue this series like doing it in indie publish or self-publish, because they no longer have a contract after Ruby Fever comes out. So I'm not sure what they're going to do. I'm hoping that they're going to do another trilogy afterwards with the other sister, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm really, really enjoying this. As I said, good urban fantasy, so much good world building, a lot of good action. I love that. And the characters are just fantastic. This is a great family unit, and then how they kind of pull over the books, how they keep pulling people into their kind of found family. You know, there's the original family that's a real family, and blood family, and then there's people that they meet that kind of connects to, and I just really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that we're reading that series and continuing on. Then that same day on Friday, I finished the book 2 of the Sawbears series, which is Woodcutter Werebear by T.S. Joyce. So again, I'm rereading this again from 2019. So this one follows Keegan, and I really like this one because it follows another shifter as well, Skylar, because we don't know what she is for most of the book, and I really like it. It was a very a little bit more hard-hitting than the first book, but they both have good, they have trauma themes in there, and then werebears and then some action in there as well. And they're short. This was 200 pages or 225 pages, but it was fun. So as I said, I finished that one as well this week, so my rereads of that are going well. And then yesterday I finished Don't Hex and Drive by Juliet Cross. So this is book 2 in the Stay a Spell series. I really enjoyed this one as well. This was just a fun ride, and I'm so mad at myself for starting it last weekend and not finishing it before I started my buddy read of Sapphire Flames, because I had to put this down. I couldn't read this at the same time as that. It was going, not that it was too close, because they're not anything alike. I just didn't want to read this one while I was reading that one. It was just I was more focused on that one, and then I was reading the either the Pride and Prejudice and Kittens or Kitties, or I was reading the Werebears. I don't know why that was different, but this one I held off, and so I finished it yesterday because I'd read a little bit over half by Sunday night, and then I didn't touch it until yesterday. And I really enjoyed this one. This was, again, this is a great paranormal romance taking place in New Orleans. I still think this is not, this could be anywhere. I think that her sense of place isn't as clear as a lot of books that I've seen take place in New Orleans, but I love the characters. We're following this Voice sisters who are all witches, and the first book followed one of the sisters. This one follows another sister, Isadora, and her love interest, Dev. Oh, I love Dev. Dev was great. I loved him, and he was a vampire, and there's the things that he could do and how he was and his history. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed this one. This is a book I did buy this month, and when I finished Wolf Gone Wild, I was like, oh, I'm not going to read one for a while. Well, I lied. I want to read the next. Now I read this one, I want to read the next one soon as well, but I'm not going to read it this week. I'm going to take a couple weeks at least. We'll see. It might be next week. We'll see what happens. But I do like this series. Stay a Spell series. I'm really enjoying this, and I will continue on. It's a good paranormal romance, and again, it has this slight mystery in there that is related to how they meet up, or not how they meet up. How they meet up is he hits her with her bike. It was hilarious. She was fine. Anyway, the point is, the very beginning of the book was funny, but it has to do with women going missing, and he's there to try to find who is taking these women. And so there's a mystery in there, and that's kind of in that. And it's kind of how the first book had a mystery as well. So she has like that little mystery, but most of it's on the relationship and the sexy times. So just so you know, I really like those books. Okay, so that's all I finished. Those are the 5 books that I finished so far, or I finished this week. So then I had this whole plan of like, I don't even remember what I said last Sunday of what I was going to read this week. Because clearly I kind of threw everything out the window except for Sapphire Flames, which I knew I was going to read. And I think I said I was reading Don't Hex and Drive. So I knew that was already there. But I was going to finish or try to read Ivanhoe by audio, and I did not. Monday morning came and I had all that driving to do for work. And I was like, I don't want to listen to that. And then I decided I wanted to reread. And since last week, or the week for last, I got the newest book in my most anticipated book of the year in one of my favorite series of all time. I want to reread the series, and I hadn't got around to it yet this year, and I feel like I have to. So I'm just going to do it. So I started Stone of Farewell by Tad Williams, and by listening to this on audio. So I have never listened to this series by audio until this year, January. I listened to The Dragonbone Chair, which is the first book in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series. And this is one of my favorite series of all time. So I've been for months telling myself to start Stone of Farewell. It's been sitting next to me on the couch to start that audiobook, and I just hadn't. And it's just because I haven't been into epic fantasy much this year. Most of this year has been paranormal romance and urban fantasy. And I know that. It's just my series, that's what's been drawing me. I'm having trouble reading epic fantasies with one of the books I want to talk about in a little bit. But I'm like, I need to get this reread done because I want to reread all the books before I read the new one, Into the Narrow Dark, which is the 3rd book in the Last King of Osnard series, which comes after Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. So technically it's book 6, or the sixth novel, and there's a novella I still want to reread also with it. Anyway, the point is that I'm hoping by December, I will be reading Into the Narrow Dark if I can get all the audiobooks done ahead of that. But they're all really long, so we'll see. So I've almost halfway this week. I listened to a lot of it on Monday, and then I think I listened to it a little bit on Tuesday, and then I took a break for a day or two. I didn't feel like it, and then I think Friday I listened to it a little bit more. So I'm taking this pretty slow, and like I'm not burning through it like as much as I should, but I got 354 pages in, and I think it's I have a little bit over like 380 left. So I'm hoping to finish this. If I can finish this by the end of the week, that'd be great, but I'm not gonna stress about it if it goes into August, because again, Green Angel Tower is huge. That's the next book. So we'll see how this goes. Anyway, but Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn is, again, an epic fantasy series that I think everybody who loves epic fantasy should read it. I just love this series. It's, again, one of my favorites. I read it as it came out. Memories to Green Angel Tower is one of those books that affected my childhood, as in, I read it at 14 or 15, and it was just huge. It like changed the way I read a lot of books and what I chose. And there's a couple books in that when I was a freshman in high school, and a couple in middle school, that kind of changed the way I looked at things. And I would say Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn was the first epic fantasy series that I was waiting for the next book each time. So I had to wait for this book, and I had to wait for To Green Angel Tower. And it was like that first time I had to wait for books. And as a kid, or as a teenager, I was learning about that. Anyways, the point is that this is following Simon and a lot of other people. Simon starts out in The Dragonbone Chair as the kitchen boy who is kind of caught up in big machinations of things going on. And this book is not a lot of people's favorite, and I get that. This is actually probably one of my least favorite books, and this is probably my least favorite book of the series. But again, it's a traveling book. There's a lot of things that happen in the first book, and then to get to the 3rd book, there's a lot of things that have to happen in the middle. everything still is important. It's just a lot of traveling. But I still think it's worth it. I'm loving it. I want to, as I said, I'm listening to it by Andrew Wincott, and he's doing a really great job. So I will continue listening to this and then hopefully get to Green Angel Tower next month, but we'll see. Point is I'm making my way through that because I want to read Into the Narrow Dark, which is, as I said, several books away. Book physically that I picked up yesterday to start reading was Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. So I have been wanting to pick this up all year since I think I got it in January or February. And because this is Regency era, this is my last Jane Austen July book that I picked up. So as I said, I think I've read 10 things I've finished for Jane Austen July. So I think I've done a really good job on this month doing a lot of Jane Austen July reading. This is my last one. Because again, one of the prompts was now it could be something from the Regency era. So this one has Faye though, so that's kind of different. But we're following Dora, who at a young age was confronted by Fae Lord, and half of her soul was stolen. And so now she is 19, and she and her cousin, who's like a year or so younger than her, are now out, and they're now in London trying to find Vanessa, the cousin husband. And Dora is off, like she doesn't respond like what normal people with emotions and stuff. She doesn't feel embarrassment, and she knows that in certain situations she should be scared, and she's not, or angry, and she doesn't really react much except maybe say something that, yeah. I don't know. And she's kind of hampered by this, and she runs into the Lord Sorcerer for the Prince Regent. And so he kind of takes her on as kind of a project as he's interested to try to figure out how to help her get back her soul. So I'm about 80 pages in. And so far it really feels like a Regency romance kind of thing. So, I mean, I'm not sure how, I guess I would classify this as historical, I don't know, historical fantasy romance. I don't know. But it's cute so far. So I have been trying not to buy books since I did my stats video and realized how much money I've spent this year. And I lasted a week. And then yesterday I bought a few books and I was like, dang it. And then I told myself, okay, I can't buy any more books for the next week. But then I realized when I started reading this, I go, okay, there's a caveat. If I love this book and at the end or like it enough, it's a 4-star or above, which means it's rereadable. And I want to continue this series because this is the Regency Fairy Tale series. And this is book 1. They're all like companion novels. So 10,000 Stitches just came out. This book got picked up by, I don't remember, one of the publishers. I can't remember which one. So I have the self-pub because I bought it before that. And then I didn't get the other 2 because I hadn't read one. So I didn't buy those. So now I have to buy the newly published ones. And the second one, 1,000 Stitches, just came out. And then the third one, The Long Shadow, I think comes out in August. So I might buy those. So I might buy the one that's just out, and then I might pre-order this third one if this goes well. Right now, it's going well. So if it feels like that, I'll let myself buy those ones, but I'm going to try not to buy anything else. But anyway, so far I'm really enjoying this and hoping that'll go well. And then, so that's kind of, I have other books. I put some books back on my shelf. Ivanhoe I will come back to. It's still there. I think I'll finish Stone of Farewell, and then I'll go back and finish Ivanhoe. I just need to break from that one. That was, I don't know what I was expecting, but, it's medieval. It just took me a little bit. I'll get back to Walter Scott a little bit later. And then I put a couple books back on my shelf. The Other Bennet Sister by Janice Hadlow just wasn't working for me right now. I think I've read too much Jane Austen stuff. So I'm going to try to read that sometime during the year when I'm not reading other Jane Austen or other historical books. I just think it needs to be on a time by itself. So I just put it back on my shelf, back on to read, and I will come back to that one. So I don't know what I'm going to read. Like another book that I might put on hold is Certain Dark Things by Sylvia Marina Garcia, which is kind of horror, urban fantasy in Mexico City where vampires exist, different kinds of vampires. Like there's several different sects, And we're following one who is on the run in the city when she's not supposed to be there. And she meets a young runaway boy. Well, he's like 17, so teenager. And I think they're going to be dealing with the bad vampires who are after her. So I don't feel like reading this right now. I liked the first 40 pages. I just think it's not right now is not the time to read it. So I probably put this back on my shelf as well and maybe pick this more up in October. We'll see. But anyway, I'm going to give The Coward by Stephen Aaron another shot. When I was reading this, I wasn't feeling it. It's not the book's fault. It's just epic fantasy for me right now is really hard. To reread Stone of Farewell is totally different from reading a new epic fantasy series for me right now. Rereads are fine. New ones I'm having trouble with, but I really want to read this so that I know if I want to. I have the pre-order of The Warrior that's coming out later in August, and I need to know if I need to, cancel that. So I do need to read this. This follows Kel, who as a young man went on a quest with all these heroes, and so he saw what it was like to be a hero, and then to see them all die, and he was the only one who returned from the north where something was going on, but whatever happened stopped. And so then now it's 10 years later, he's been working his farm, trying to live kind of in obscurity because he doesn't want to think about that time or, use any popularity he had from it. He didn't want anything to do with that. And though something has happened, things look like they're starting to gear up again exactly like it was 10 years ago. And he is pulled before the king in order to go back and figure out what the problem is. So again, I think the title is more about him not wanting to do what the king wants him to. Because again, he doesn't want to go through what he went through 10 years before. The problem with this book for me is the baddie, or the one who's on the opposite side, which is a religious fanatic. She is crazy. And that's what right now was just not calling to me due to world circumstances or US circumstances. So I put it down, because I wasn't really into that, but I do want to pick it up again and try to see if I can finish that. I might pick up this week, The Haunting of Bryn Wilder by Wendy Webb, because this is one of my BookTube spin books. And this is like gothic mystery kind of thing. I think Bryn is running away from something. She goes, I think, to Alaska. Oh no, she goes to Lake Superior, somewhere on Lake Superior. Sorry, I got confused where this one was. And she goes to some resort or something, like a touristy town, which I don't recognize that name. So I don't know if that's a real one or not, because I've been up there, but I don't know. So she, it goes there to kind of, chill out, to hide away. And then, she meets all the people there. And then I think, something happened. I don't remember. Something happens while she's there, or there's something about that happened, something in the past. I don't know. Anyway, point is, it's a book that I need to read for my BookTube spin for this last, number 7. So I want to get that done in August, but if I can get it done in end of July, hey, that's even better. So we'll see. And then the last one that I'm really craving to pick up, and this might be my next read, is Strange Love by Anne Greer. This is supposed to be really funny, about a woman who is somehow matchmade, or is on a matchmaking service. It's with an alien. And, I think it's supposed to be kind of weird and funny. I don't know. It just looks funny, and it's been told me. I've been wanting to get to it all month, but with all the Jane Austen July ones, I just hadn't called me. But right now it is just screaming at me. So this is really likely to be the next read, but we will see. Anyway, that's it. I've tried to do shorter. Didn't work so well. And that's still Cooper, who likes to hang out with me. And Truman, who knows where he is. Anyway, that's kind of it. Just real quick, my board. So, I did 2 rereads this week with the 2 Werebear, the Saw Bears. What else did I do? Well, I'm not going to count the Pride and Prejudice and Kitties. That doesn't count for anything. I continued a series with, Sapphire, Flames, And, oh, and I continued the Don't Hex and Drive. So that's it. I don't get to do anything else. Oh, well, I'm gonna mark the two, even though they're ebooks that are rereads, I'm just gonna put down my ebooks so that it shows that I read some more books. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, that's it. As I said, it's still very heavy on the rereads and on the series, but hopefully, you know, we'll see if I get some other of that stuff, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's it. What are you guys reading? Are you guys reading anything good? How did your Jane Austen July go? As I said, I've read 10 things. My 11th and final one will probably be Half a Soul, because I'm not going to finish any of the other ones. So that's it. So let me know what's going on, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.